And let's go.
That one had some heat.
And now it's time for Bikes, Mikes, and Idiots with your hosts, Ubi and Eric.
All right, guys, here we go again. We got another episode for you. And
Boom shagalaga.
we almost had some scoreboards going.
Yep, the scoreboard
During
almost
that-
started right from the beginning.
We had a good day today.
Yes.
How's
So-
your day been?
Good. It's been a while since we've gotten to go out and have some sushi and some drinks, and we actually got able to do it today. The weather's been beautiful out here.
We actually stayed
Great
a little
ride.
extra. We actually stayed a
Yeah,
little
we
bit
stayed a
extra.
little
just
bit
to-
longer just to finish out talking what we were talking about, and
Just kind of vent. So
yeah,
So for the guys that don't know, like, this is something we've done. This is where the podcast kind of became
Birthed.
a thing. Yeah, it birthed. They birthed us.
it's like the grimace, the female grimace at the McDonald's. Have you seen that on
Don't say
Instagram
TikTok.
yet?
No.
Oh, it's weird.
Uh-oh.
So all the grimaces are female, and if they need one male to keep it, and so like they have this McDonald's, and like the grimace is giving birth to 3 pups. 2 of them were female, the third one was a male, and then they cut her up and turn her into McRibs. It's kind of disturbing.
Some
Honestly,
purple McRibs.
it's pretty disturbing.
Yeah.
But anyway, that explains the sheen on that McRib meat. I'm just saying.
Is that why it's so cheap?
Yeah. It's
Honestly, McRibs are awesome. though.
recycled placenta.
They taste so good, though.
Yeah.
No, but so our podcast kind of birthed out of our lunches, just kind of talking. But
No.
so normally our lunches would be, we'd kind of vent about stuff for probably 30 minutes, let's say.
Yeah.
And then
Talk
we'd-
about the podcast, or well, actually,
No,
before the podcast, we just talk. We just joke around.
Joke around and be ourselves.
Like we'd see somebody walk in and we'd be like, "Ooh," or like today, 30 ladies at one of the tap-on tables to like
The blue hairs.
to have a birthday lunch, which
Yeah.
absolutely
Uh-oh, something broke. Did it break?
okay. Just be quiet and stare.
And
So he's an adult now. Actually, he's technically 18, so I can punch him in the face legally now.
oh,
So you broke the shelf. Good job.
I opened the door.
Way to work.
That's not my fault.
and that's how,
And that's how
So
the new
you're
refrigerator
seeing-
was purchased.
as you can
Just
see on
close
the
the door. I'll
Serengeti,
fix it later.
this is how the adult lion treats the little cub
Yeah. Eat the cub.
to get.
Did you fix it yet?
Maybe.
So for the people that don't know, Eric is actually a huge dude, because we've talked about this before. We're not small guys, neither one of us. We might look small on the podcast,
Did you fix it?
but
No, it's like too packed.
we're kind of big guys, and his son is huge,
Yeah.
huge.
That's a big. Beep. I didn't do it.
We could have done one of these.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
No, but
Yeah,
like
he's
people
almost 6'3". He's like 6'2.5".
That's insane.
At just turned 18.
That's
Just
and so
turned
he's
18.
still got his thickening out to do.
Oh yes,
So he's
and he's pretty
a
thick
big-
already. He's like
a
240
big kid.
pounds. He's a big
And
boy.
He's not fat.
He's
thick
athletic.
kid.
He lifts all the time.
So
He's like he's like what I used to be when I cared.
oh, you don't care no more?
Not so much.
I pretend.
Yes. Yes.
No, but most people probably don't know that we're, because
Old?
you never know. Well, that too. Obviously we're old. I have a 17-year-old too, so I'm up there too, even though I'm a lot younger.
10 years younger than me. Yeah.
But
Throwing
people might
yogurt
not-
earlier.
People might not realize, based on the angles of this podcast, that we're actually kind of big people.
Yeah, we're pumpkins.
Well, that too.
That's why we have the tall table that hides the bellies.
It hides the pumpkins.
And it really doesn't, because I've watched the last couple and it's like, ooh,
Oh, the pumpkin.
the pumpkin came out.
No, but people might not realize that, because
Yeah.
a lot of people, you think about like Tom Cruise.
He's like 3 feet tall.
He's a tiny little
Yeah.
dude, but people think he's tall because on camera they make him
Well,
look
and
taller.
like on when I went to Orlando with the club, I took a picture next to, Tig Deegan, who's this, lack of a better term, badass Marine who protected,
Banff.
he protected the annex from the attack.
Yeah.
And I'm standing next to him, and he's like, "You make me look small." I was like, "Sorry."
So, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
So for me, I've always been pretty big-ish, just tall.
Yeah.
I was always pretty skinny, but I've never really felt short.
Yeah.
Like my best friend,
I've never
6'2".
understood what little man syndrome was
Yeah.
because I'm not a
Yeah.
little man.
Exactly.
But yet I've got friends who are like up to here that are like, "Bah, bah, 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 bah." "Hey, let me pick you up and put you back in your bed
put you back in your little high
and put
chair.
you back in your crib, baby. It's okay."
But my buddy's 6'2", 6'3"-ish. Rail
Yeah.
thin too, but he's the only person for the most part I've ever known that was really taller than me.
Yeah.
And then got this job, and I was like, "F you guys."
Yeah, I'm like,
I feel
average
short.
to small.
I feel short
Yeah.
all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Why?
yep. Well, I mean, that's
And it's not.
that's
all
generally
across.
law enforcement, though. Generally, law enforcement's your taller, bigger dudes. That's just what they attract.
So
Like
but
New York State Troopers for years had a minimum height requirement. If you weren't 6 foot,
really?
you couldn't be a New York State Trooper.
Did not
And
know
that lasted until like the early to mid 90s before they finally changed that requirement.
You know,
Because they
that-
couldn't get, they said it was, it was,
it's
it
an
was,
officer safety thing.
well,
you really think
their
about it.
reason is they said it was, the reason they got rid of it is because of gender equality.
Okay,
Women
yeah.
aren't going to be 6 foot tall and do this.
I know some.
Or very few though.
Yeah,
Like,
there's very few.
yeah,
and far between.
I can count them on 2 hands.
You had to think about it. No, but
Yeah.
it does make sense.
Yeah.
Kind of in that aspect of.
No, it's an officer safety thing.
It's a little
like,
bit of an intimidation factor.
if you're
and
5
it's-
foot gangbanger, who's it going to pick? The 6'2" state trooper or the 5'4",
local
your local cop.
PD, yeah, they're gonna.
Yeah, who are they more than likely to get in a fight with?
So yeah, it does
Yeah.
make sense. It does.
It does.
attract
It's an
that.
intimidation factor, and it's part of it's what they consider the lowest level of force for law enforcement is officer presence.
Yes,
So that presence of that big dude is a big deal.
it does. It does.
It really is.
play a
I'm
significant
sure
factor.
it's protected me from a lot of because I wasn't always this round. I'm sure it's protected me from a lot of situations that could have gone bad.
And I agree
Because
think
it's like the dude's hands are the size of a softball.
granted, you do have thick hands. We
No,
kind of
really
talked
not.
about this.
They're not that big compared to yours. They're big. They're thick.
Yeah,
They're meaty.
yeah,
And like my
they're
wrists are
meaty.
huge. Like my wrists are unbelievably huge. So like this watch, like if you guys can see on thing, is like tight on my arm.
Let me grab this. I totally forgot to grab this thing.
But oh, come on. Jeez, it's like you're going to the bathroom again. But so anyway, this watch is like really tight on my arm, and it's the biggest band that they have for it. I have to go out and buy extra links. So let me put it on this clown. So on his
Yeah,
left
I don't
hand,
wanna
he puts
really
this
do
on
that,
there,
but-
and then close the clasp.
Yeah, and then
So
you
that's
see
that's the difference between, a little bit thicker wrist.
a little bit. That's
Well, I mean,
significantly
I'm just a
thicker.
meaty man. And,
No,
and
you
there's
are.
nothing you can do. Like I could lose all the weight in the world, and that's
And you're-
still going to
you're
be
still
that
gonna have
thick.
big
It's still
joints.
going to be.
And that's my
Yeah,
thing. Like
that's
it
for when
doesn't
I
matter.
retire.
So that's my big thing. Is I've always just had small joints. So my wrists
Small
are
bones, small joints, brittle legs.
No, actually, if you really think
Well, you have
about
brittle bone syndrome.
it, I really don't.
Yeah, I
think
mean, a
about
little
it.
Indian fell on you, and you're like,
860,
I'm going to call you Mr. Glass.
860 pounds fell on me, and
Well, why did it fall on you?
that's a different story.
Because you dropped it. That's why. It's okay.
That's a totally different story.
Well, things happen. Like the crazy thing is when you dropped it, we were all just like,
oh, he did it again.
yeah. And then we're like, oh, he's actually hurt.
Well, that was
Uh-oh.
the thing. So in that situation,
He goes to stand up and his leg like folds in half, and we're like,
It honestly wasn't that bad. I legit tried to walk it off.
you broke your fibia and tibia. There's no walking that.
I didn't
off.
wake. I didn't break the tibia.
Oh, you didn't break the
just
tibia,
The,
just
just
the
the
fibula.
fibula.
Well, I'm
Just the
sorry.
fibula.
Ooh. One out of the two.
But they never broke. So this is the craziest thing to me when they actually fix things. They never fix the actual broken bone,
No,
which
they isolate the good bone.
it was the craziest thing to me though. Like they never did anything for it.
Yeah.
And it was a good
Yeah.
break. It
Oh, yeah.
wasn't. It wasn't just like
Absolutely.
a fracture.
No. Well,
And
do you
they
want
were
to
just-
isolate my good bone?
I don't think we have anything small enough for that.
Oh, your mouth is. You got teeth in your mouth, so my got to fit.
Okay, you got me on that one.
Yes, I did.
I'll give you that.
I've been quick today.
You have been. You legitimately have been.
I actually have gotten good sleep the last couple of days. So
So that's actually surprising.
Yeah.
But at lunch we were talking about all this
Yeah.
kind of stuff. We had a chance to actually vent.
just
we
talk about
haven't really.
work, life. Yeah.
We haven't had a chance to really do that. It's
no,
been
it's been
this
busy,
has been
busy,
our,
busy, busy, busy,
and
busy,
this
busy,
has been our
busy.
chance to vent
Yeah.
here, and we can't talk about certain things. So we had a chance to just kind of air things out and have a good time prior to this.
Really to decompress before the decompression. Like
Yeah.
we were able to get out the things that because there's things we don't talk about on here, obviously.
And there's things we can't talk about too.
Well, yeah, some of them are prohibited from work.
And-
Some of them are prohibited by YouTube and by Apple. So, that's one of the other things. We actually are on Apple Podcasts now. So
We're
it's finally
on
up.
there. We finally had
We had a breakthrough.
Yeah, we finally were able to get that up. We're on Apple Podcasts and still not on TikTok anymore.
No, TikTok still has this band. They're like, freedom, not for you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Freedom, not for you. Freedom, not for anybody in America.
That's-
Freedom. Anyway, I don't know what song I was going
there's
to.
a lot of people in America that have that freedom.
Oh my God, yeah. And
Insane.
99% of what I see on there, I'm like, how the heck does that get through? And us going, we're bikes, mikes, and idiots doesn't go through. Like, we didn't say anything. Like, we literally were on like episode 3.
No, we were a few episodes. We were probably like 8 episodes in, maybe.
Yeah,
And
but
then
like
we
nothing
got-
was controversial
No,
yet.
and even then, what we think of controversial isn't really.
Is it
super
really controversial?
We just know that it's
For us, it's
it'll-
controversial. It'll cause issues.
Yeah, so it's
Well, like Eminem said, we need a little controversy because there is no.
I just blanked. It's
Well,
okay,
we're
I had
done.
that
We're
moment.
done. We're done.
I had that moment.
We're gonna shut it off. We're done for the day. Shut it down. Shut it down.
Game over.
Game over.
That's like a good song too.
Na,
na, na,
na, na, na, na, na, na.
We've been having a good day. So if you guys want to bear with us through this SOS, we're gonna have.
Yes. Oh, we're gonna be all over the place. We're gonna be all over the place. So, like the Patreon show is gonna have a bunch of funny stuff because we had music playing in the background.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about what we're gonna do because we're like, we didn't talk about anything that we're gonna do today
Yeah,
until like now.
We were never on the same page today.
No.
Normally it's a pretty quick on the same page today.
Yeah, I was like,
Just-
no, we are not talking about that.
Nope, not doing
That
this.
gets my butt in trouble.
A lot of things seem to get your butt in trouble. Well, actually, that's me lately.
Yeah,
that's
that's
been
you.
me lately.
That's you, not me.
But since we're
I
kind
don't
of
need
getting,
my alarm. I'm just not gonna wake up for work. Ba, 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 ba.
you know what? Honestly, I can talk about that. It's stress.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about him and her. Let's talk about all the things that didn't
But
happen
there's
with
no one
that fur. Let's talk about.
There's no one there.
I know.
Was that
There
supposed to
could be.
was
They're
that
behind the
supposed-
camera.
Was that supposed to be Pamela?
Yes.
But legitimately, stress has gotten to me lately, and I've just not been able to sleep very well, and I'm sure you've been kind of the same
Oh, yeah.
way. And
And then all of a sudden I was like,
Ouch.
you will sleep or die. Pff, sleep.
yeah. Legit,
Yeah.
it does hit you like that. You get a moment, and all of a sudden you're just like, I don't have too much to do today. There's not really anything I'm going to end up missing out on today.
Yeah. So
So I'm gonna chill for a little bit, and then you're just like,
I almost slept through the Bills game last week. I was like, all of a sudden it hit, and I was like, I wake up to, get up, the Bills are playing.
uh-oh.
And my children know, like, wake me up from across the room. Don't like, so
Yeah,
they're like
don't.
poking me with a stick.
The broomstick. They're just
So like I have a really big thing about like if people wake me up from a sleep, like I start swinging. Like I am instantly. You've seen it.
Yeah,
I'm instantly in a terrible mood.
Yes.
And I'm gonna fight.
yeah.
Like I don't know what has caused it. I don't know. I should probably go to counseling for it, but I don't know the root cause of it. But I just know that anytime, like honestly, one time my daughter came in to wake me up.
We need what is it? A
We might need
shade lounge right here so you can.
Yeah, I
sit
might
on
need
it
to.
so I can be your.
Might need to talk to the therapist if we're going to try to get on here coming up. But yeah, so like my daughter one time came in and woke me up. She started shaking me and said, "Dad, Dad, 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 wake up!" And I swung and I hit her and knocked her across the room. And I felt terrible, but it just that's my reaction. I
Instinct.
come out of a sleep like in a fight.
So and I've had similar situations where, so my nephew, the one I've talked about, the one
Yeah.
that passed away, he did it twice to me and then he learned his lesson.
Yep.
Luckily, I'd never ended up actually hitting him. But I woke up out of the sleep the way he woke me up. I woke up out of a sleep like this.
Oh, I smacked the crap out of my daughter. It was just like she was like,
It was just kind of like a
yeah,
little
just a backhand
just-
because I was I want to say I was sleeping on my right side and she was shaking me and I swung my left
You
hand
just kind
and
of
just
did one of those.
hit her and like launched her across the room. And after that, she'll like throw stuff at me from the door. Wake up!
She's just sitting there.
Wake up!
She's just sitting there. There's just a bunch
She's-
of stuff around you.
She's playing bags on me.
Cornhole.
Cornhole, yeah. She's throwing cornhole bags at me. Wake up!
So
Yeah.
I get that. I totally get that because I've done that. I've been that.
Well, you
person
woke me
to-
up. You woke me up the one
Yeah.
time here, and I was like, "Rah!" And you were like,
Yeah.
"What the hell just happened?"
Uh-oh.
I think I kicked you out of the house.
Yes, you did.
I said, "Get the f out of my house now."
Yep, you were angry,
Yeah,
but like I get it. It's understandable.
it's just something like
and something between friends is the same thing. It's
yeah, it happens.
You had that moment.
It blows over the water. It's fine. And I think I want to say I called you
you-
the next day. I was like,
yeah,
"Dude,
we
I am
talked
so
about it the
sorry."
next day.
There's I really can't. So like, I can tell you why I don't like. I love swimming. I love the water, but I don't like feeling trapped in the water. So like,
trapped
because-
in the water.
yeah, like I almost drowned under a dock. I got stuck under a dock when I was a kid, and I
Okay.
almost drowned. So like, I got yanked out and had to like get like pushed on my side on the dock and was throwing up water and all that kind of like I
Yeah.
literally almost died. So like, if I start running out of air, I'll
Yeah.
freak out. So like, my kids, trying to jump off my shoulders one time, they were taking forever, and they went to get on, and I just threw them because I was like, "Get off!"
I can't
Nope,
breathe.
I was done. Like that. Oh my God! You almost died. You're gonna die. 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 Kicked in.
Survival. The survival instinct finally kicked in.
And it's hard. Like now, I understand how like it's one of the reasons I will not dive.
Mm-hmm.
I will not like. I've had people. Oh, come on, take a PADI cert with us. We'll get you through it. We're good instructors. Like,
Yeah.
And they're friends of mine, and I'm like, no, absolutely not. And they're like, well, it's safe. I'm like, no, you can lick my butthole. No, I did that so you didn't have to beat me. But I was like, you're
that
not.
one might be safe.
That
might be
one's safe.
I think we should.
But
be
I'm
safe.
like, absolutely not. I'm not going to go underwater and risk my life
yeah.
just to see some colorful coral that I can see on your pictures. I don't care.
So I'll give you this. So
Yeah, like, it freaks me out.
I'm kind of scared of water. It's a little
Yeah, I
bit
can
of a for me.
Yeah.
It's not Friday, so I didn't bathe. No, joking. That's all joking.
Yet he has
But-
liquid cooling on his bike.
But
Yeah.
there's like something probably happened when I was real little. Don't know, but I have.
Your mom tried to drown you.
Obviously not successful.
She tried to muck duck you
Yeah,
as a wee baby.
not successful. Apparently, I'm a fighter.
Yeah.
But scuba diving.
Yep.
I've done it a couple times. It's awesome.
Nope.
It is
Nope. Nope.
awesome.
Nope. Nope.
It's-
Nope. 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 Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
But it's also a thing you have to be able
Yeah.
to breathe through your mouth.
Yeah. Well, I'm a mouth breather. I can do that. But
Not that
But-
kind of mouth breather,
yeah.
though.
But
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
I've breathed off of regulators before because they're like, hey, let's make you feel comfortable above the water, and I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, that's fine. And they put me in the water, and as soon as I hit the water, it's like with a regulator, I'm like, ah! Like, nope,
full
want
panic
nothing to do
mode?
with it. I panic, and it's not safe. Like I would have to do so much probably. So like when I watched that video of the movie of the kids who got trapped in that cave,
Yeah.
and so basically like they gave them shots and put them under so that they could drag them out of the cave like one at a time without them drowning.
Struggling. Yeah.
I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have gone like these guys who go cave diving. No, absolutely not. I'm too big for small spaces anyway. In addition to having the tank and all that, no.
Yeah.
There's no reason for it. Like, why do that?
I get that. But I will give you this. It's something that today's my day to be that guy. To be that guy.
Let me check
And normally
mine.
yeah, I know, right? Normally I'm the one to be really on that.
Yeah.
No, but like you said, you were like something I can see with the pictures, with the video or whatever. It's not the same.
I know.
It's the same.
I know it wouldn't be because I mean I've done snorkeling on the reefs and it's so amazing when I snorkel.
Right.
But I'm in control. I'm close enough to the surface that I know like nothing's above me. Like that's when I freak out. Like even when we
like
snorkeled,
going under something.
if like people were above me, that freaks me out.
Yeah.
Because I know I can't get out. Like that's, I think it's more I'm afraid of being trapped under the water than being under the water doesn't really bother me. I think it's the more feeling trapped under the water. So I mean, yeah, sorry. So I mean, I think that's the real thing for me is I don't like being trapped under the water.
Yeah, I get that. And although, so this was one of my greatest fears for the longest time was like drowning.
Commitment.
I said one of my greatest fears for the longest time, meaning I got over it.
Oh, okay, yeah, the commitment's still on the table.
It's still there.
Yeah.
No, but drowning was one of my greatest fears,
Yeah.
and then it was like getting burned alive.
Dude, that's Well,
after finding out that hit the top of the list. Getting burned alive is top of the list. Drowning is actually dropped significantly in it because I've heard what the
so you could say it's gone
is.
underwater.
Yes. No, it's so. Have you ever heard kind of what that experience ends up being? Yeah, you had to do it. You make that nose. No, it's
that nose.
You don't. That
You
noise.
make that noise. I know when she spells noise.
Jesus. Oh man.
But no, you're right. They get that diver's euphoria, and it's very peaceful.
No, but not the diver's season. Just drowning. Have you heard what that experience turns into? Because people have kind of like drowned, and then they resuscitated them, and then they've explained
apparently I didn't get that far because I was still freaked out.
Yeah. So apparently, it's actually one of the better ways because you panic for a second.
Yeah.
But then when your lungs end up filling up with water, which is kind of painful, but there's that. But it's
it also depends on whether it's fresh versus
saltwater.
Saltwater, but anyway.
But it's kind of that section is painful, but it's pretty quick.
Yeah.
When you compare it to
burning
any type of other ways, well, not even just burning, just any type of other ways, you'd probably die. But what ends up happening is you pass out. So you kind of just like
you fade away
slowly. You just kind of fade away. There's not.
Well, I mean, there's a reason in World War II when the Indianapolis got torpedoed and it was burning. Everyone was like, let's get off the burning ship and jump in the water. We're in the middle of nowhere with tons of sharks, but it's better than burning. Burning's terrible.
Oh, yeah, because it's pain nonstop, incessant.
It's almost like when you grab the head pipe on your bike.
I grabbed the heat shield.
Was that hot?
It was just that moment.
Was it hot?
It was a little warm.
Yeah, there's a reason it's called a heat shield.
A little warm.
He's like, yeah, is that hot? No crap. It's like 3 inches from the exhaust port on your motor.
Not even that far. Probably not even that far. Yeah, I had a moment this morning.
That happens.
Yeah, today's been a day for me. But since we're kind of just going into really random stuff, since we're kind of getting out of the spooky season and we're going into holidays and all that kind of stuff, what are your favorite type of Hollywood. Halloween. Let's not go Hollywood. Let's not go Hollywood. No, don't go there. You've been on this for a few episodes. No, don't go there. We want to thank one of our founding sponsors who helped make all of this possible. The Legion of St. Michael Law Enforcement Motorcycle Club International is a 501c3 charitable organization that focuses on first responders and military families in need.
The Legion of St. Michael was founded in 2014 in Chicago, Illinois, in memory of fallen officers. If you are interested in helping to support the Legion of St. Michael in their endeavors to assist first responders and military families, please reach out to a local chapter or contact the Idiots for a link for donations.
What's your favorite type of Halloween memories? What kind of things kind of just stick out to you?
100 bottles of baby oil.
Damn it. Damn it.
No, I mean, God.
It was 1,000, by the way.
Yeah, well, I'm only using 100 this weekend. Yeah, Big Daddy. We should call him P. Diddley. Anyway,
He's just, oh, I knew it was
I can't help it. I can't help it.
I know.
It's creepy.
It's
Honestly, that's the scariest movie right now. It's The News. But anyway.
Yeah, it is.
So the Halloween, I would say, you said what was the favorite movie?
No,
Or
favorite memory. The things you kind of remember about Halloween. What kind of
Honestly, egging.
high school?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So in high school, my buddies and I, there's probably 5 of us. We had a 3-man balloon launcher, and we mapped out our whole town, and we buried 21 dozen eggs throughout the town. So we had we would only have 5 or 6 eggs on us at any given time.
21 dozen
Yes. So we were buying them
in bulk.
bulk and ahead of time. Yes. So like my parents were like, "Why is there 10 dozen eggs in the fridge?" Don't worry about it, Mom. Like, she already knew.
We're making a big
She
omelet.
knew what was going on.
We're
She knew what
making
was
a
going
big
on.
omelet.
But no, we had little spots where we dug out squares and you could fit we'd pull out the sod, take the dirt out, and you could fit in the eggs in there, and you put the sod back on the top.
Yeah.
So we had them mapped out. So we knew, like, okay, this neighborhood's like, we kind of we went very tactical about it. Like, we were like, hey, memorize the maps. You need to know about where it is. And like, we would put a stick or a flag or something. Like, we would have
Just
stuff.
something you could.
Something. Well, we were able to hit the police station from across the river. So the police station's on like this little island, and we're on another. So it was like mainland, bridge, island where the police station's at, another bridge, and another island. So we're on this other island, and we're
Sounds smart.
what's that?
Sounds smart.
Oh, it was amazing. So we're sitting there and we're launching eggs at the police station from across the river. So like, oh, you're not going to get us. Yeah, we forgot about the whole radio thing. So
Can't outrun the radio.
So all of a sudden, there's like 10 cops chasing us on this island, and we all just the only thing we had to worry about was
Statute of limitations.
Oh, it's way over. It's way over. So we just made sure we carried the 3-man balloon launcher, and we all jumped in the water and we swam downriver. And this is October in upstate New York, so it was
cold.
not hot. Like it was a little shocking.
It's not Arizona
No.
in October.
No. So we were able to we got out and got away from that. And they were like, hey, let's not hit the police station. That's probably a pretty bad idea. So then we went over to the hospital and shot from the hospital's front yard. They had like this whole like little courtyard that's covered by these like 6-7 foot hedges. And we were launching them at the school from there. And we could hit the school from like past the front yard, across the street, and in this courtyard because we had a 3-man balloon launcher. The thing would launch them like 400 feet. Like they would launch. Like they were good. So we did that, and then we got in like a couple of really big egg fights with some of the seniors. So like one of the seniors came through that we didn't like, and like 5 of us threw eggs, and we didn't realize he had his window open in his car, and they all went through his window. Wow. And they chased us down. Like they chased us down and gave us a whooping. Like we got. I might be okay. It's gonna be close. We got whooped pretty hard. Like we got whooped on bad. So they messed us up pretty good.
I would have too.
Oh yeah. So like all night we're doing this. We're in these wars. We were getting like we got boxed in by like 4 or 5 officers on a block area and some wooded area. We ended up all getting out. Like they couldn't catch us.
Yeah.
So there was a hockey game that night, in our town. So hockey's really big in the town I grew up in. And my parents get a page. Could Mr. and Mrs. come up to the office? And so my parents are like, oh, Eric got caught. They get up there, they said, hey, just to let you know, your daughter's at the police station. And they're like, oh, so what did he, wait, what? Daughter? She got caught because they were dumb and carried their eggs with them.
Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing? You can't. And one of her friends, honestly, one of her friends turned her in, like, real quick, was like, snitched quick as quick could be. If I tell you, will I get in trouble? Nope. This is their address. This is their parents' phone numbers. This is where they're at tonight. Blah, blah, blah. Snitched, like, snitches get stitches.
I was going to say that.
So we had a whole thing where, like, we don't know who anybody else is. Like, we do. And we went through at least.
I know them. They go to my same school. That's that's the extent of my interaction.
I don't really know their. I recognize them, but I don't know them, like, personally. I know
the
who
name
their names
because they
are.
go to the
No, we
same
told
school.
them. I don't know their name. So I don't know who it
I'm
is.
saying if they said a name to you, you're like, I know the name.
I know
go to my
that I
school
recognize the
'cause-
name, but I don't. I can't put a face with it. We never got caught. So, like, I roll in. I want to say like 3-4 o'clock in the morning.
Damn.
Oh, yeah, my parents are like, let's go play, whatever. It's no big deal.
It's Halloween. Everyone's
It's
kinda
harmless
watching-
fun.
Everyone's watching out for each other at that point.
It's harmless fun. And it's a small town, too. So I walk in, and my sister's sitting on the couch with her head down. And my parents, I walk in, and both my parents burst out laughing. They're like, you didn't get caught. I'm like, no, why? And they're like, your sister did. And she's like, eh. And she was older than me, which is even funnier. So,
Yeah.
I mean, all they did was they threatened her with criminal mischief. She had two eggs on her, and so what she did, instead of just dumping them and launching them as she was running, she had them in her bra and she broke them in her bra.
It's just like running down.
So, like, it's so obvious. So the cop was like, "You've done enough to yourself. Just go." He's like, "You've just done enough to yourself. Just go." So he cut them loose, but.
That's
It was the
funny.
same thing. Like, they got called to come pick her up from the police station. Like, criminal mischief is a big thing. And my dad's like, yeah, I know. Terrible. Okay.
Misdemeanor.
And he's like, hey, aren't you the one that followed me home when I DUI'd that time? Because back then, I mean,
It was a different time.
that was common. So, like, when my dad and his brother were growing up, they got in trouble a lot. So he had a souped up Yanko Camaro. So
we were talking about that
crazy
before.
fast car. And so what they would do
What
is,
color?
it was a blue and
Blue and
black
white
stripe.
Oh, black stripe.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's actually.
Yep.
That was.
So he had a custom paint job. But so they would, like, go do stuff and then stop and wait for the cop to catch up and then race them home. And then they'd go, like, because they had the farm, they'd go park it in one of the barns and shut the doors and stuff. And he would, like, the cop's like, we know who it, like, there's not many of these cars around. Like, come on. And so they knock on the door, and my grandfather, like, I have no idea where they are. And you could hear him laughing in the background, like, he covered for him. He was like, they're kids.
I mean, that's
get over
and
it.
that's cool. It's
But they used to, police used to do that. They'd follow you home from a DUI, and I don't think it was necessarily right because it was still dangerous. But back then, you would respect the police officer. They said, hey, you're going the speed limit all the way home. I'm going to follow you.
yeah.
And they would follow you till you got home.
That's the same thing as
And that
like,
was it.
That's the same thing as like your parent catches you doing
yeah.
something, and they're like, "Okay, you're in the middle of this.
Yeah.
You need to get. You took the go-kart somewhere.
Yeah.
Let's say, and your parent catches you.
Get it
doing
back home.
something. I'm gonna be right behind you,
Yeah.
and you don't do anything dumb along the
Yep.
way, right? So it's kind of in that
Yeah.
in that realm.
But that's gone, and I understand why that happened. Police can't do that anymore because of litigious society.
That too.
So
That too. I think there's a lot of
there's a lot of different
There's a-
nuances, reasons, and
yeah,
et cetera.
'cause
But
I'm sure
Then we
in-
could get
I'm
into
sure
a
in small
whole-
towns they probably still kind of like,
maybe I got a
Hey-
speeding ticket that got
hey Aaron,
dismissed.
hey Aaron, I know you're around the corner right here.
Go home.
Go home. I'm gonna be on this corner. Make sure you
You're
get
home.
home. Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So, I
But
think
who
that-
knows? Well, and I
definitely-
think some of it too is once people started disrespecting police, they're like, no,
Yeah,
no
'cause
more.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's a
Yeah.
small town type thing because
Yeah.
that probably still
If they
happens
know
because
you, they're like, hey, get in the car. I'm taking you home now.
yeah,
Leave your car here. Pick it up
pick it
tomorrow.
up in the morning.
Yeah.
Those
Or
kind of
I'm
things.
taking your keys. Sleep in your car. Sleep it off. I'm taking your keys. Or get them tomorrow.
Yeah.
When I get off shift, I'm going to come back over here and you're going to drive home.
So it's
Yeah.
I think it kind of plays a factor because you know
Big
them.
cities,
They're-
that's
they're
never going
your-
to happen.
They're your
They're your peeps.
they're your across town neighbor
Yeah.
type thing. They live a couple blocks from you.
Yep.
So it's like you're not going to disrespect that person. You're not going to
Yeah.
be
Or they're your
too-
football coach.
I feel like that's a story, but
Yes.
so yeah. So I think that I'm sure that plays factors. But I think Halloween, it does have that mischief to it.
Oh,
It does that kind
All
of.
Hallows Eve, and it was just fun. It was a way to cut loose. It's not what I consider a super serious holiday. Like
Yeah.
Christmas to me is serious. Easter to me is serious. New Year's
in what
yeah.
way?
Christmas, I think, is serious in the fact that it's a very family centric holiday. So, like
Yeah,
for
see, I
me,
don't see that
I
as-
want to be with my family. I want to spend I wouldn't want to go out and be egging cars.
No,
on
okay,
Christmas.
okay. So different kind of serious because I
So
see
All
it as
Hallows
like,
Eve, honestly, Halloween is a pagan religion.
yeah, it's a
It's not a
pagan
Christian
tradition.
holiday.
It's a
pagan tradition.
Yeah, so it's
And it's like El Dia de los Muertos. It's the same idea, the Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
It's a celebration. Now, and in that
but
culture, it's a
that's-
celebration
yeah,
of your lost
celebration
ones.
of life.
So for them,
essentially.
it's a little bit more serious. Of what I would consider a more serious thing than for me. Like Halloween was just go have fun.
Yeah,
Go to Halloween. You dress up like whatever you want to dress up like. You act like an idiot. You have a good time.
yeah. It's kind of a day to cut loose a little bit.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So, like for me, for Christmas, I guess I could say kind of semi-serious, but it's more of a I get to kind of have fun with my family, not in like, oh, we're just all together. It's
Yeah.
more of a I'm the guy that plays the pranks on people.
But
and does-
that's in a family setting still. Whereas on Halloween, like
it's people you don't
you
know.
might not be with when you have a Christmas party,
Mm-hmm.
it's close family, friends, and then Christmas Day when you're actually celebrating Christmas,
Yeah.
you very rarely do you go out and have all these other people show up to your Christmas.
True.
Whereas like a Halloween party on Halloween, it's everybody and anybody. Like, hey, who wants
Yeah.
to come up, dress up, have a good time?
Yeah, you're right.
So I think it's just definitely maybe just the undertones are more serious on Christmas and like Easter.
Because it's more family or
Yeah, more
oriented.
family oriented versus
Makes sense.
friends oriented.
That makes sense. I get it, but it's also
It's
you
not
can-
100% contained
yeah.
type of explanation.
No. But I think that kind of explains it a little bit. Halloween is uncontained. Christmas is contained chaos.
Yes.
Okay,
Oh yeah,
that-
because your uncle that doesn't get along with anybody is going to talk politics.
or do
Is going to get super drunk.
yeah, or do something stupid
Yeah.
and get people.
Hey, you remember when you slept around on your wife?
Yeah, we never talked about that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always that one.
Yeah.
There's always that one.
Yeah,
that
everybody's got that uncle. And if you don't know who it is,
you're
it's
that
you.
uncle. Oh. Does that mean it's me?
Probably.
No,
That's what my kids think. Oh, Uncle Ubi's here. Great.
Oh no! Yay, fun times.
him and Dad are going to be snoring on the chairs in 5 minutes.
We're gonna have a recording of this.
Oh, yes, they do. I guarantee you they do.
Of dueling chainsaws.
Yep.
No, but the holiday season is kind of that. It's very family oriented.
Oh, yeah.
But I think family. So when you think family, there's always been that saying of blood is thicker than water.
Yeah. And it's true.
Kind of.
Your
I think
sister's,
kind of. Yeah, no, yeah. Yes. Which totally understandable. Would have done the same thing. Would you have not?
I wouldn't have said it in the first place. I'm not dumb.
I didn't know.
Nah, well, knowing's half the battle. G.I. Joe.
Knowing is half the battle. No, but it's blood is thicker than water is that whole saying. But but I think there was something I had seen a while back that was it kind of explained it away a little bit.
Yeah.
Of you love your family regardless of what type of people they are.
Yeah.
You're gonna love your family because they're your family.
Yeah.
You're gonna have that certain type of love, like the unconditional love type of thing we talked about before.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
But it was
a while ago.
somewhere in there. But you have that unconditional love. It's your family. But and you know how they say you can't pick your family. You kind of do though.
Yeah.
You kind of do because if your family's not great, you don't really get along with your family.
Bye.
You pick out, your friends that you hang out with, especially as you become an adult. It's you kind of start doing your own thing, and then you have certain people over for the holiday season as these are my people. These are my family.
For years, I would throw a big
I just
Thanksgiving.
went full Vin Diesel on this one.
Yeah, you did. Well, no, I mean, for years, I would do a big Thanksgiving dinner for all the people that I worked with that were away from home, didn't have family in the area. So I would have 30 or 40 people at my house for Thanksgiving dinner. And we would just throw this big Thanksgiving dinner, have a little bit of a party afterwards. Like, not even like, I won't even say a party. It was just
hang out.
Dinner and drinks, hang out, talk about what's been going on in the year, how everything's going. And it was like I guess an outreach, honestly. For me, it was an outreach to make sure they were okay, that my people were okay.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's certain parts of it that is like kind of more closed off.
Oh yeah,
and that's your family.
Oh
your
yeah,
family outside of actual family.
Oh, so so I would do like a Thanksgiving the next day with the actual family.
Yeah,
because I had family in the area. Well, for a while I didn't have family in the area when I was single, when I wasn't married, and so then it was we all got together for Thanksgiving together, and then that tradition carried on. Friendsgiving, yeah.
But I think it's kind of as you get older, you kind of realize that a little bit more that it's not necessarily your blood family that is your family.
There's familia.
Yeah, but a little bit going Vin Diesel on it. Yeah. Family's everything, all that kind of stuff. But your family doesn't necessarily have to be your blood relatives.
No.
Family can be, a co-worker. It can be your
trusted
best friend.
Companion.
It can, there you go. But it can be those kind of things. It can be a extended
family. Yeah.
You could say extended family, but it's people that aren't actually related to you.
Yeah.
It can be just people you've met along the way, people that always have your back.
They have a same set of values, same goals, similar visions of life. Yeah.
And that's family. That's more family than
that's cave people family.
If you really think about it, it's that tribal instinct of these are people that have the same
humans,
morals, ideas, ideals. Sorry,
ideals. What I would say is like humans in general, we're pack animals.
Yeah.
Very few human beings do well solo.
Yes. No.
I mean truly alone.
There's actually studies on that.
Cabin fever is a real thing for people who are alone by themselves, isolated. It's a real thing that causes issues.
Yeah.
So much so that there's sections of Alaska where during the dark nights, the 30 days of night, they don't sell alcohol in any store. It's prohibited because they don't want you to get in that depressive mood based on everything that's going on. It's really interesting when you kind of think about it.
Yeah, it's a human instinct.
Oh yeah,
you're a social.
Oh yeah,
social creature.
Beings.
Yeah, and there is actual studies done on it that show we are social creatures because they've done with chimpanzees too. There's, you can thrive by yourself.
Yeah, you can do well by yourself,
but you put that same type of drive with a different human and they're gonna do way better if in a social,
Yeah.
with social settings.
Well, yeah. I mean, you look at it. I'll go with specifically survival situations.
Mm-hmm.
So, like in real big survival situations, like you can. It's easier almost. It's easier, but more difficult at the same time to survive on your own. You only have one person you're responsible to.
Yep.
So you know when you need food. You know when you need fuel to stay warm. You know when you need shelter. You know, like you don't have to work in a collaborative effort.
Yes.
But at the same time, the collaborative effort splits the work.
And it makes...
Two people can be warmed by the same fire.
Yes.
Two people can be fed by the same rabbit. Two people can be sheltered by the same shelter.
But you can also double the effort.
Yes, and
And be
get
able to-
more and then flourish. So
Yes.
we're designed, and I would say God designed us that way, to be social, to be in a community.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that a community could be 5 people. It doesn't have to be 5,000
It
people.
can be
it could
two
be 2
families.
people, 2
It could be
families,
2
2
families.
people, 3
It-
people. Like,
Yeah, it doesn't have to necessarily
but by
mean-
yourself in all, a lot of people do not do well. Like when you see people who get stranded on islands by themselves, they typically don't do well,
And that's
even
the
though
thing.
there's resources.
And that's the thing too, is by yourself, there is people that can do
Yes.
quote unquote well. They can survive, essentially.
And all of them have received lots of training. Or the vast majority of them have received
Vast majority, yeah.
some sort of training on
To be
how
able
to
to-
survive those situations. So they have that mindset already that, oh, I can do this.
They can survive.
Whereas you just drop somebody there, they're like look at Survivor, one of the best shows on that at all. And but still boggles me with that show is they always vote off like the strong people at the very beginning. Like, no,
Why? Why would you?
let them contribute, build you guys up, then get rid of them, then
Yeah.
cut their Achilles and kick them off the island. You know.
Yeah, you got to take advantage of it.
Yep. But that's
No.
why Boston Rob did so well all the time because his social game was so good. Well, you
Dude.
know, he can win stuff, but like, you know, he's got all this knowledge. So like, we're going to use that. And then
So
he ends
that-
up
So that's a
End around
whole technique that
Sociology.
So it is.
Yep.
So they did studies on rats. They do a lot of studies on rats because they're
social animal.
well, yeah, but they're very similar to humans in certain aspects with certain things. Not
Snitches get stitches.
actually, yeah, they do have that. They do have that tendency too, but you'll have like the big alpha rat,
Yeah.
and they kind of fight. Yes, alpha rat. No, they kind of fight with the smaller ones and all that stuff, and they've noticed through extensive studies they've done that the alpha rat will, or the bigger rat will let the smaller one win every once in a while.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
But it's
Yeah.
not a decisive win. They'll let them.
You don't destroy hope.
Yes, so it leaves them hope. It leaves them hope, and I think that's the biggest
Yep.
thing for people. You need that hope.
The Idiots want to thank Sketchy Alias, one of our founding sponsors, for everything he has done for us. Sketchy works in vector-based design and has been working in the design field for 15 years.
His designs have been used on coins, apparel, websites, and logos. Sketchy is also a veteran who serves this great nation. Thank you for your friendship, work ethic, and service. Which actually kind of takes me into an idea. So, one of our other notes here is a while back I watched If Imaginary Friends
Oh, yeah,
with
yeah,
Ryan
yeah.
Reynolds, and then I had watched Inside Out 2. We watched it the same
Yep.
day. Took my nephews and nieces and my son. And my nephews and nieces kind of liked If. It's such a wholesome type movie.
Yeah.
And it takes me into what the fall of wholesome type movies. We don't really have that much anymore. There's not,
No, I don't think so.
because you
Well-
even had wholesome shows.
Yeah.
And we don't really have that as
Oh
much
no,
anymore.
it's all Real Housewives of blah 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 county now. I do have to say I did watch a movie recently that I think is wholesome, and it was Reagan.
Yeah.
What a phenomenal movie! Like, honestly, and I don't know if it's because I have a link to the history, because I remember all those stories as they came through when Reagan was there. I remember seeing those pictures. I remember all these, like, I remembered a lot of what happened in that movie.
Do you know you just isolated probably majority of the audience we're trying to reach out to? 'Cause
And you know what?
None of them know who
I
Reagan
don't
was.
care.
And this is kind of
No,
just
no,
joking on.
but it was a really good movie. Like it showed his fight against communism through Hollywood.
Yeah.
Because Hollywood at the time, this was right during the height of the Cold War, was really into communism.
Yeah.
So, as the head of the Screen Actors Guild, he refused to allow that into the Screen Actors Guild. He said, no, absolutely not. So they tried to create their own union, and there was fights between them, and all this, that, the other. And it goes through like him dealing with the Soviet Union, you know, telling Gorbachev, like he had some kid shows up on his lawn. Reagan has a kid show up on his lawn,
Yeah.
wants to talk to him, and become a speechwriter. He ends up becoming one of his speechwriters.
Really?
Because they had a good conversation. He's like, hey, I like what you're thinking. You don't necessarily agree with me on this, but like, you know, like we're talking, you're very intelligent. Let's do this. And then his team penned the Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Yeah. And that
is one of the most iconic statements by a U.S. president. Like, hey, take this down and let's start to heal this. Let's get away from this Cold War. And they wrote the biggest destruction of nuclear arsenal in the history of the world, at least at that point.
Yeah.
They had gone from like, we're building up to let's take these down. We got to back off of this. This is not good for anybody. Like, and then it covers his cognitive decline because he ended up having Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a ton of couples in there because, I mean, the movie had been out for a while. And I don't think there was a dry eye in there. Like, because it goes through, like, you see this man who protected the United States and led us into this, you know, led us out of this terrible situation that we were in, to like, this is supposed to be important to me and I don't understand why. I don't remember why. Like, I know it's important, but I don't understand why.
Yeah, and I think
And
that's something we've kind of lost along the way. So I'm going to hit two things here with, I think a lot of people don't realize what the Cold War really meant.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's called a Cold War for a reason, because nothing was actually fired off.
They had a countdown to apocalypse.
Yeah.
Every day.
But do you know what I mean? So it was.
Yeah.
So I think that's the reason that kind of somewhat gets washed over, because
we won.
Well, but not just that, but because there was not a lot of hot conflict that happened during it.
No, but I want to say, like, I definitely think that people felt it. Even more so before him with the Cuban Missile Crisis with JFK. Yeah. Like, they were doing
possibility.
Like, duck and cover under your desk. That just means you're a melted blob quicker. Like, it doesn't save you. Like,
no,
our world was
it saves you if you're far enough out.
We were this close to war every day, all the way even through the Cold War, where there was like, hey, they just launched. Oh my God, they just launched. You need to launch now, launch now, launch now. And they're like, oh, whoops, it was a flock of geese.
Yeah, and
we almost literally mutual assured destruction. So the MAD concept.
Yeah.
Because a flock of geese flew in front of a radar station, like, and we were that close. Like, how he dealt with that as a president, like, knowing that every day, like, I might have to push a button today.
Yeah, and
like, way closer than we've been in recent history.
That's a huge weight to put on something.
Oh my gosh!
But I'm just saying, I think people lose that concept of what it was, because there was not a lot of hot conflict with it.
Yeah, it wasn't. We weren't in Iraq. We weren't in Afghanistan. All these little conflicts
were going. Lives lost. It was
the Soviets were in Afghanistan. We dealt with a little bit of Iran-Contra affair stuff with Iran and Iraq. There was some stuff with the Sandinistas down in, was it Venezuela? No, the Sandinistas were...
no, you might be right. It might be Venezuela.
It might be. Well, anyway,
regardless.
There were little tiny things here and there, but nothing like what we're going through now with Ukraine and Israel.
Hot conflict.
Like,
there's hot
people
conflict.
are destroying each other.
Yes.
Absolutely destroying each other right now. And it's a sad state of affairs to see human beings take other human beings' lives. Either way, like
it doesn't
regardless
matter.
of the answer, I don't want any wars to be happening. Like that would be my ultimate goal, is that none of it's happening, and people are talking about things and trying to come up with some sort of diplomatic solution.
And sometimes wars happen. That's
Oh yeah,
not
it's going to happen. Realistically,
But-
I know that's never going to be like, oh, we can just talk about it and be happy,
can be
because
super peaceful.
we try to we war with each other.
yeah. It's
Like there's
it's just-
little battles between us.
so it's. But I think that's what I'm saying.
Like you
That
ride an Indian,
whole-
I drive a Harley.
Yeah, I mean,
They're both quick and fast.
quick and fast. Yeah, we found that out.
Yep.
But I think that gets lost on a lot of people because of that.
Yeah.
It really does.
Well, and it really goes back in our society that we don't see those wholesome movies because of it.
Yeah. So, and that's where I was
Yeah.
going to go with it, and that was the other point of. Remember, I
Tractor
said
beam.
too.
Suck me right in.
Like you have. So back in the early '90s, you used to have like Homeward Bound.
Oh my
stuff like
gosh,
that. You know what I mean? Like those
Oh
were.
God, remember that?
You know, those were tearjerker movies.
Yep.
You how many types of movies now are that type of movie? That where you're like
There's not many,
oh.
honestly.
Like
So,
okay,
like for me, Act of Valor was one of those.
oh no, yeah, that's End of Watch.
What's that?
End of
Oh,
Watch.
End of Watch. Yeah, of course we're using police military movies, but like
No, but-
Ladder 49,
Yeah.
like all those were like
So
people who are willing to sacrifice are the movies that we think now are wholesome.
so I'll give you one. Liar, liar.
Oh my
I
God,
think
that's
that's
hilarious.
It's
It's a comedy. It's funny, but it's a wholesome movie.
It
It's
really
about
is.
kid wants to spend time with dad.
Yeah. Like that
Yeah.
one. That one for me still.
That's a
to
really
this
good one.
day-
Yeah, that's a good one.
To this day, that one
a good
still is
one.
like a semi tearjerker to me
Yeah.
because it's like it has that dad aspect to it.
Oh, they only
especially
talk to you
now.
because of your.
Yeah, right.
I've never laughed so hard. Like I was like, Mama.
Yeah.
Oh God,
Such a great movie though.
it was hilarious.
but it made you laugh along the way. But it was
well, because she can't get into a. But you're a horrible parent. He's such a good father.
yeah. And then the end scene where it's like, Max, did you wish for this to happen?
No, I wanted a puppy.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
it's wholesome.
Sweet
It
Home
really
Alabama,
is. Yeah,
another one. But that's a little bit older still. But
but there's a huge lack of
Inside Out was a
wholesomeness.
good one though.
It is,
And
and it is.
And what I like about Inside Out, like I haven't seen it, or what's the other one?
If.
I've seen
Imaginary
it. No, I
Friends.
take it back. I've seen it, or it. What I like about Inside Out is it does explain, like, and we've talked about this, like
Yeah.
it explains those core memories. Like all of my big memories are like there was a little sad, there was a little bit happy, there was like a little bit anxious, like all these things that came together. Like those big emotional moments are the ones that are the ones you remember. Like
No,
those are the ones
absolutely.
you'll always have with you.
because it has multiple emotion to it.
Yeah.
When you have,
It's like dudes thinking like a woman. Because men are like,
yeah,
women are like,
yeah,
and and it's actually a study. It's not even me just being misogynistic
today.
again. But no, there's actually like men, when they can converse with people, they 99% of the time take emotion out of it. It's
Yeah, it's very logical.
we go lunch, eat lunch together, life good. Women are like, well, I'm going to go eat lunch because we're going to talk about this. And they tie emotion and then and their feelings and what they're thinking, like
And the
all
emotion,
these things tie
the
together.
emotion ties into decision
Yes.
for them. It's well,
Whereas
you know,
in a generality, men are more logical, like
Yeah.
A B equals C.
well, so and so going on the emotion thing was like they, oh jeez, they but when it
Yeah.
goes into like making that decision of am I going to have lunch with this person I haven't talked to for a while,
Oh, but I remember when they said this about my hair.
you know what I mean? So there's
Yeah.
there's a lot more emotion tied into
Yes.
it instead of a guy's like, oh, I haven't seen this buddy in a while, you know? And
Yeah, you'll see a dude you haven't seen for a year and a half, and you'll talk as soon as you guys show up. Hey, buddy! It's like you guys saw each other yesterday,
yeah, and then you'll be like,
and then
hey,
you leave. Oh,
let's-
I won't see you
let's
for
have-
another 3 months. Bye.
Or oh, let's go grab a
drink,
couple beers
yeah.
tomorrow. Let's go grab lunch tomorrow real quick.
Well,
We'll
hey,
catch up
let's
a little
play
bit.
some golf. Let's do this. Let's
And it's a simple just. Hey,
For men,
I remember
think,
I had good times.
For
with
men,
this
I
guy.
think it's more transactional.
I could, yeah.
I think it's just a more like for us, friendship is a transaction. There's
Okay.
emotion involved. I'm not saying there's no emotion, but I
Yeah.
think it's more transactional. It's like, hey, you know, I talk to you, I like you because you listen to me and you do this for me.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, well, I liked you because you taught you, you know, and you do this for me.
And
And as long
there's
as there's
more
a
happy- there's more
mutual
happy than sad.
understanding, well, not even necessarily happiness, because it can be over. I've seen guys have great relationships over terrible situations.
yeah, I guess
And it
that's
has
true.
nothing to do with being happy. It has to do with that.
Yeah.
Oh, you failed on that
Yeah,
one today.
I hit the wrong one.
But like, it's more of a transactional interaction, whereas like I've heard of women bringing up stuff from like 4 years ago, and the guy's like, I have no idea what you're even talking about.
It was
That's so far.
yeah, it was just
out
an
of my,
instant
like-
for the guy, and it's a
But they remember it because, and it's nothing against them. It's just their biology. Their biology causes them to remember
it's tied
those
to a
things.
certain emotion that makes them
Well,
remember.
And I think, honestly, it ties into protecting your offspring. Your offspring.
No, no, and
Honestly,
you're-
I think it is, to me, it is a natural thing to do that.
to protect, yes.
Yeah.
No, it is. But I think what I was going to say is it ties into a certain emotion where guys are able to just kind of laugh something off. You got me type thing. It doesn't tie to an actual emotion. Whereas women, it ties to a certain emotion, and those are strong emotions that make you log it into long-term memory.
Well, yeah, and I think it's I think it's necessary back in the history of man. We're like, oh, when I did this happened and almost caused this, which made me scared and made me do this and this and this.
Yeah.
And that, I honestly, that's why I think men have terrible memories for the most part.
They do.
Like, I know guys who have like absolute photographic memories, like they are like geniuses, and they can't remember what happened yesterday.
Yeah. Don't remember what they had for breakfast.
Nope. But then I've seen the opposite as well. So I mean, we're talking a little bit in generalities here, but I do think there's something to it. I can't say that it's scientifically proven, blah blah blah, but I think there's definitely, in my experience, there's something to it.
Yeah.
That women generally tie emotion with not every,
But
with a lot of their decisions
and memories.
and memories.
And guys, it's kind of just how
Oh yeah,
you
I remember
felt.
when that happened.
Or how you felt.
Yeah.
Not necessarily
that really
an
pissed me
emotion.
off when that guy said that.
Yeah, but it was a
But it
feeling
was-
as opposed to an emotion,
Yeah.
which they're very close.
Yeah.
They're very close proximity to each other, feelings and emotions.
But when we remember it, we're just like, yeah, that made me mad.
yeah, it's not.
It's not, oh, I remember that.
Yeah, and then you have that emotion again.
And then that motion triggers again. And
Yeah.
I think it's a protective thing.
But
But
I
don't
think
know.
that- I think that-
I could be completely wrong. I probably know more about nuclear submarines than I do about women. Who knows?
or megalodons,
Well, I don't know anything about megalodons. I totally disregard the paleontological
paleontological record.
paleontological record.
There you go.
That's a hard word.
It actually kind of is.
That's a hard word on a Thursday.
Today's Thursday.
I don't even know. That's the
We're-
best part. I have no idea. I just know I'm off the next couple of days.
There you go. That's what really matters, right? So you have that emotional tie to these things.
Yeah.
But wholesome movies have emotion.
Oh, I mean, I felt
And-
I had some things in the feels on that movie.
No, but okay. So besides that movie, what was the last movie that kind of hit you in the feels, so to say?
Hallmark commercial. No,
The Hallmark movies and
they're terrible.
they're super cheesy.
Gosh, I just watched a movie the other day, and I remember it kind of got me. And I don't remember what it was,
Okay, so while you're
but
thinking
it was a
about that,
patriotic type movie.
so while you're thinking about that, the thing that kind of ends up getting me is movies that have a lot of father-son ties, where there's like that father-son emotion.
Yeah.
Those get me. Those tend to get me a bit. I don't know what that was. Might be the ghost.
Yeah, that was weird.
Those Halloween ghosts are still around.
That was weird because there's nobody else out here.
Yeah, right.
I don't think.
Not that we can
whatever.
see. Not that we can see.
Nah, I'm sure they're here.
No, but so they're coming to get you. They're coming to take you up again.
Yeah.
But those are the ones that kind of get
Yeah.
me, for me personally. Like everyone has their kind of, there's that one thing that'll touch them, right? For me, that if there's that father,
P. Diddy.
Damn it! I knew it when I said it, and I saw it in your face. I saw it in your face, and I was like, "Damn it!"
This is going to be the gift that keeps on giving for years to come.
Is it though?
I hope not.
Yeah, me neither. That's
Yeah.
All right, so let's hit that
Back
a
to
little
it.
bit.
No. I'm done.
Are you sure?
No.
Because I was gonna say I hope that
No, because I still think there's a lot to us to hit with the movies things. I'm trying to think which. God, there was one. I wish I could. Well, Wolverine got me, but
Yeah,
that was more of a joy.
Yeah.
That wasn't necessarily like a sadness or a, but that was like a joyful because it was like I've waited forever.
Tell me,
see
me and you were
Wolverine.
not way more excited than the kids were.
Oh, the kids are like, yeah, okay, it was a good movie. We're like, he puts the hood on. We're like,
We're the only two in the theater, like excited.
everyone's like looking at us like, what is wrong with these guys?
It's take your dad to
Take your dad to movie day.
take your dad to movie day. Take your special dad to movie day.
You know, I would have to. I'm sure there's one past it, but the second Top Gun, when Maverick tried to sacrifice himself to save Rooster,
Yeah.
because it's about self-sacrifice. For me, that was, and I'm going to have to go with you on the father-son thing. Like he felt like he was a father figure to him, and he sacrificed himself, even though he. Spoiler alert, he didn't.
Spoiler, yeah.
But I mean, everybody by now I should have seen it. But like that's like somebody who's willing to sacrifice their life. That gets me every time.
Yeah, it does.
Someone's
That
willing to sacrifice.
Self-sacrifice.
And I
does.
think it hits because it hits close to home for us.
Yeah.
Because I'm willing to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Like I don't want to. Like obviously I would rather come out of everything good. But I would do it. Like I wouldn't. I've been in multiple situations where things have happened where, man, today's probably the day, and I end up coming out of it and like, okay, well, I made it, so life's good.
Yeah. Yeah. You have that little, and that's the thing.
I gotta go poo now.
It has that little emotion in the back of your mind. You, as a guy, you kind of pretend that it's not there.
Oh yeah, it's
Like you put up that front, but you're just like, oh, geez, this
That was
could have been.
close.
Yeah, this could have been it.
so like you got the real good one when all of a sudden you get the adrenaline shakes.
Yeah.
So like you're done with like you're going through the whole situation, everything's rough tumble fighting the whole deal, and then everything's like secured. Okay, oh man, we're good.
And you just can't. Yeah,
And you're
you
like,
just can't control
and you
yourself.
can't stop, and you're just like, what the hell's going on? And then the best advice I ever got is I had a supervisor come up to me one time when I had a situation like that. They said, "That's normal," and I was like,
Thank you.
"It's a miracle." But I mean, it's just that knowing, like, no, it's an adrenaline dump. You're going to be fine.
Yeah,
It's
not-
normal. You're not
nothing
freaking
special.
out.
The heart beating in your throat.
Oh yeah,
is gonna go away.
And all like doesn't matter if you drank 16 bottles of water, your mouth's dry.
Absolutely, yes. You're just like,
Yep.
you can feel the heartbeat here.
Yep.
You feel your lips just
Dry.
You're just parched.
Absolutely dry. Like what the hell just
Doesn't
happened?
matter if you're
and then
drinking-
you're
it doesn't
seeing
matter if you
and you're
just
seeing
finished.
like this big of a picture at
Yes.
that point. Like it just because at the time it happens, you're like you're so super focused on what's happening, and all of a sudden it stops, and you're like, "Holy so much info." Beep, boop. But like that's literally it's just such a dump of information at that point. Like, oh, the temperature is this is what's going on. Oh my god, am I going to be okay? This is what happened. Oh
Your
my
brain
god.
just is in overdrive for a second.
And your body can't stop it.
No, there's no stopping that one.
Nope.
Like I said, it's that you could literally. So for people that
You
never
can
experienced
taste
this, yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're right.
You can
I'll
taste
give
that
you
adrenaline dump.
because you could literally be drinking water. Stop drinking that water. You wet your whole lips, you wet your whole mouth, and you're just like Yeah, you have
I just
like,
ate a 6-pack of cotton balls.
I did the saltine challenge right now.
Oh,
And you literally you will if you've never
Yep.
experienced your heart is beating through your throat.
Yep.
You feel it right here.
oh yeah. I mean, you can feel it up here.
Oh.
Like you feel like the veins to the side of your head. You're feeling. Like it's a really weird,
Okay, so
really weird feeling.
I'll throw this one in there for this. Just as a little quickie. It's not the same as damn it. I keep throwing those out to you. It's like little softballs. That one I wasn't expecting.
Damn
You got me
it.
on that one.
I play with this thing nonstop.
I know you do.
I'm not even
glad
talking
I'm
about the
glad I
sponge
gave it to
thing.
you. Oh, jeez. No, so if you've been in a fight,
Oh, yeah.
and I think that's kind of becoming a lesser and lesser thing now. Like less people have been in a legitimate
fight.
fight. You have that adrenaline dump. It's not the same.
Oh no,
Nowhere close.
no. Like it.
You have that.
You
adrenaline
can
dump,
you
but
can
it's not-
feel some of the lesser characteristics of it, but it's not the
Good.
same as a full on like.
I might not go home tonight.
I've been shot at. I've had knives slash and stab me,
Yeah.
and in some of those situations, I'm not making it home.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what? I'm going to take him with me. Like that's the
That's the
I'm
thought
taking him
process.
with me.
Yep.
I might not make it, but I'm not going alone. I'm going to drag you with me all the way there. But that's that warrior mindset that you have to have.
But that's the thing. A lot of people think it is
Yep.
you have a little street fight,
Oh yeah.
and
no.
it's
no,
it's the
it's
same thing. It's not.
No.
It doesn't have that same
life and
impact.
death versus a little like fist fight in the street. Nothing. Now, I could see street fights could get that way. Somebody pulls a gun, they could pull a knife, they
Yeah.
start slashing. Okay, yeah, it can get to that point. But like your average fisticuffs, no, not even.
But you
close.
have that little bit, and people think
You get the taste, and you're like, oh yeah, it wasn't that bad. Yeah, wait till you see the flash on their gun,
Yeah.
and you can see that bullet come out, and you see it go by your head as you're drawing your weapon out.
I'll give you that one. I haven't had that. Luckily, I've never had that.
Not fun.
But let's say on that note,
Not fun at all.
to keep people wondering, it's about that time.
So we're gonna live good,
Ride hard.
and we will catch you next time.